Welcome back to ADHD Whiskey. My name is Matt. Stop right there. Before we go any further, I must say this. The bottle I'm reviewing tonight, this bottle came from a distillery. A distillery named after a famous mammal. Pretty sure it's a mammal. A friggin' jackrabbit. We're about to hop down the rabbit hole of this son of a bitch. Rabbit hole. Heigold. Straight bourbon whiskey. Little bourbon Heigold hopping through the forest. Stopping at Matt's house about to drink its ass. I received an email from a digital ambassador for Rabbit Hole Distillery, a gentleman by the name of Adam. And Adam was all, "Hey Matt, noticed you haven't reviewed any Rabbit Hole stuff on your channel. What up with that? Can I send you some?" And I was like, "Yeah, Adam, love that. Send it, brother. Send it." Brother, he sent it quick. It's not often I get sent stuff by distilleries, because why would they? But I feel honored to have this in my possession. Super cool. Thanks for reaching out, Rabbit Hole. And let's both hope this is good, because it could go wrong real quick. It could go real bad real quick. And I'm sorry if it does, but it might. Who knows? Who's to say? So before we open it, let's talk about why I haven't reviewed Rabbit Hole before. Hey Matt, why haven't you reviewed a Rabbit Hole product before? Well, I have always been turned off by the price of Rabbit Hole products. They be not cheap. They be what some people would like to refer to as the opposite of that. They're priced at a premium bourbon whiskey level. This floppy-eared bugger comes in at about $60, and other Rabbit Hole products are priced pretty similarly. So when I'm at a store and I see a product on the shelf and I'm not like super loaded with a bunch of money, my dollars have to be spent wisely. So I see this on the shelf next to Old Forester 1920, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, $60, Wild Turkey Rare Breed, $45, Henry McKenna 10-year, $40 to $50, Eagle Rare 10-year, like $30. You could buy 2 Eagle Rare 10-years for the price of this Heigold. What I'm trying to say is there's a lot of premium bourbons out there that are priced at the same level as this guy. So without having tried it before, it's impossible for me to pull the trigger on it when money is limited. But with that being said, we're about to jump into this rabbit's hole and find out whether or not this bunny is funny, or if this rabbit has it. I'm gonna pull this rabbit out of a hat, like a magician doing a magic trick. America. Whoa, it was like a missile. Good grief. We're gonna let that bunny breathe for a minute. And while we do, let's talk about this bottle and what's inside of it. Bottle design gets an A+. Super sleek, super sleek, schmexy bottle. It's big on the bottom, big on the top, skinnies around the waist. Very, very nice shape. It's got a bunny rabbit bulging out of the glass, so you know this bottle wasn't cheap to make, that's for sure. It's got a neck tag that says Heigold's Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey New Release. Our high rye Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, made with a high percentage of imported German rye, pays tribute to Christian Heigold, a German stonecutter who settled in Louisiana prior to 1850 and was so taken with his new land that he carved symbols of his patriotism on the facade of his home. Friggin' Christian Heigold, friggin' stonecutter. I love the blue on gold label. It's very pretty. 70% corn, 25% malted rye, and 5% malted barley. Never chill filtered, as it should be. Bottled by Rabbit Hole Distillery, Louisville, Kentucky. Matured over 3 years in new charred American oak barrels. That's a 3-year-old bourbon for 60 bucks. A super good looking bottle. I don't know, they seem to be doing everything right. The marketing is on point, for sure. Bottle, awesome. Rabbit, awesome. It's even got a little hole. Oh, look at that. The rabbit is bulgy and the hole is recessed so that the rabbit could actually go into the hole if it were a real rabbit or a real hole. Spin the rabbit, spin the rabbit, spin the rabbit, spin the rabbit, spin the rabbit. Butterscotch. That is overwhelming butterscotch, for sure. Butterscotch and sweet corn. A buttered sweet corn. I do have to say that there is some youngness coming out of the glass, nose first. It's not fibbing. There's some youngness here. I was getting a pretty heavy malt note coming from it. That's got to be due to the 25% malted rye in here. I was wondering what was so different about it. It doesn't throw off a traditional young nose that's off-putting. It's more of a malty butterscotch cornmeal. Some young whiskeys make me put on a yucky face, like icky or icky or don't want that. This does not do that. Actually, getting a little bit of mint on here as well, like one of the hard mints that are, you usually get the peppermint ones, and you're like, oh, that reminds me of Pizza Hut. But this is like one of the green ones, like the spearmint ones, down the hatch. That was different. That was way different. Much different than I expected, and much different than I think I've ever tasted. At first, I was like, where's the beef? More like, where's the flavor? Because it seemed to coat the mouth pretty well. And then down the hatch, and then she gone. Like, it didn't really taste much. But then it kind of flared up at the end. The finish kind of like turned into something, but I'm not sure what yet. Got a little bit bitter, but not terribly. Weird. This is different, and this is unique. It's a very unique whiskey here. I don't want to say I don't like it. That would look bad. But then again, I'm not here to look good, I'm here to be honest. Here to be honest. The nose, I said this earlier, nose was young but showed promise. It showed like maybe there was something different about this whiskey than just a young whiskey. And I feel like on the palate, it was both unique and young. Strangely enough, I didn't get a ton of rye spice on it, although I thought I would. That's kind of what I was thinking, that the back end was going to kick it up a notch with the old rye spice. There is an apparent maltiness mid-palate on this. It's actually, the maltiness starts at the front of the palate and then works its way to the mid-palate and kind of lingers there through the finish. That's the prominent note on this whiskey, is a malted rye, which is not a lot of rye spice, but a lot of the old malt. It's not that this is really bad, it's just not my cup of tea. Jeez Louise. Hate doing this. Don't like it. Don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't. What do I put out a review for a bottle that a distillery gave me and say I don't like it? Yeah, I guess. They sent it. They said that they wanted a review of it. Not my fault if I don't like it. It's just my opinion, and I am not a huge fan. Said it. Ugh. Feel bad. This isn't something I would sit down and sip. Maybe it's for other people. Maybe a beer drinker would enjoy this, possibly. Maybe a beer lover / whiskey drinker would enjoy this. It's kind of just the feeling I get. Feels like I'm drinking a beer ski, a beer whiskey, a beer ski. It's lacking in a lot of complex flavors to me. The finish isn't that great. It doesn't coat the mouth that well. It's pretty easy to sip, except for the malty spikiness, which I'm not a fan of, but other people could be a fan of. Maybe there's other rabbit hole products out there that I would enjoy more. I don't know. This is the first one I've really tried, that I've dove into and gave it a solid thinking about, and I don't necessarily enjoy it. Sorry, so sorry. Feel really bad, but that's not to say that I wouldn't enjoy anything else. I'm off to try some other rabbit hole stuff. Maybe there's something out there that really tickles me fancy. But for $60, I would pass on this bottle. My name is Matt. This is ADHD Whiskey. Like I always say, keep your head in the clouds, but your mind on telling the truth and standing by it, because even if you don't want to disappoint somebody who was nice to you and reached out to you and did a nice thing, you also don't want to do a disservice to everybody else by lying about what they did for you. They did something really awesome. They told me to review it, and damn it, I just didn't like it. Like, comment, subscribe.